Hello and welcome to the First Impressions video brought to you by MMO Play. Today we're taking a look at a free-to-play browser-based game called Panzer General Online. This is a game available from Ubisoft that is going to link to your Uplay account. It is a cross between a CCG and maybe either a lane-based or a turret-based, kind of a board game. You got a bit of a war game here. We have these hexes, units that are coming on the field, and then cards that play your moves. In this case, I can have this order right here, which will perform one order. I can move a guy, I can swap two guys, I can attack, anything like that. You'll have other cards that have other abilities. Some will allow two orders, some will allow multiple guys to attack, some will give me command points. So, command points are basically your life total. I right now have 10, my opponent has 7, you can see that on the right of the screen. These cards cost command points also. Two ways to lose. You get the 0 command points, or all of your units die. If you have no units in the lane, so there's 3 lanes, my guy's shooting, his guy's shooting back. If I were to have no guy in the way and he takes his turn, he can hit my command zone. The damage he does is equal to the hit points of the guy. So look at the top left. That guy has 4 hit points. If it were to hit my command zone, I would lose 4 points, be down to 5. If he hits it 2 more times, I'm dead. That's it. So you do have to make sure to keep all 3 lanes blocked, or be careful about when you're empty, and you also have to be careful about losing guys. In addition to that, your cards cost points, which will cost you, reduce your hit points. Also, every time you play a card, another one of the same name costs 1 more. So order, it costs 0 mana the first time I cast it. Second time I cast it, it costs 1. Third time I cast it, it costs 2. So if you get too many of the same kind of cards, you're going to get really expensive. For the most part, this is the tutorial teaching me the very basics. I'm going to show the end of this match and then go on to a little bit more of an advanced game. The tutorial, or the basically campaign, seems to be fairly long, and there's a lot going on, and as you play you'll gain levels. Different missions require a higher level. You'll also unlock new abilities like an in-game store, which will allow you to buy new cards, new units, and customize your field like that. So think of, in a very basic sense, a traditional CCG, but with wargame elements, kind of like Warhammer. Again, very basic. It's not going to be as in-depth as either of those on their side of things. So for now, what I'm doing is I'm positioning my guys. So you can see I had swapped 2 guys. This is a tutorial thing what to do. My guy with 5 hit points is going to shoot for 5. And there we go. On that card that I played that lets you swap 2 units, gives you 2 orders. Careful about one thing I did learn while playing. The same unit cannot act in the same turn, twice in the same turn. What we can do is have 1 unit swap with a guy. That guy you swapped with, he's available, he can attack. So say I have a guy with 3 hit points and a guy with 5 across the way. I want to swap the 2 around. The guy with 5 can now attack and do 5 damage to my opponent, maybe killing him. I did learn that while playing, and that cost me an extra turn. Not really the game, just an extra turn. There is an optional download. This is a browser-based game, but you can choose to download a 100 megabyte download, which will make it so the loading times are a lot faster. I'm going to skip to this mission because it's much the same as the last one, not too many new mechanics. And here we go in the basic interface. You can see some of the different things available. There is a multiplayer mode. It does not unlock immediately. There is an in-game store. It does not unlock immediately. You can use it to customize your deck later, but you do have to play through the game first. Most likely, it's a good way to prevent, botting and whatnot. What we're going to do instead is going to look at one of the campaigns. It's going to take me to the, looks like, Husky campaign. In addition to, you can see field exercise. These are the tutorial missions. They'll unlock over time. There is an energy style system. It's this oil. It'll replenish over time. You'll spend it to do missions, so you can't just play forever and ever. It's a free-to-play game, so there's probably microtransactions, including getting more oil. So I'm heading to boot camp. This is where you can go back and replay tutorial missions or see if there's any others available. Again, you can choose to download the 100 meg download. It'll drastically help these loading times. Hit start. And then this was, again, this is just showing you that you can replay these missions. So if there's a mechanic you want to look at again, you can choose to. I'm not going to go through it again. We've already seen this match once. And here we go, starting again. One other thing that there is, the first player to go gets a card called First Player. It lets them just make an order. That way you don't have your order get more expensive. Kind of to make up for the fact that the second player gets to see you first and get a little bit of an advantage. One other mechanic I didn't mention earlier, in addition to your normal move, at the end of your turn, all of your units advance one space. You can't just sit back forever and wait for your opponent. You do have to advance. You cannot cross that middle red line either. So you can't actually invade your enemy's territory, at least in the campaign, the AI missions. There's one other mechanic available at this point in the game. It would be, you can reshuffle your cards. Once per game, I can reshuffle all of my cards from my discard back into my deck. It costs me my action for the turn, but if I'm running out of cards and I can't finish with my opponent, well, I'm gonna need more cards. Otherwise, you run out. You do draw one card during a turn, you'll always draw to, I believe, a max of 4. And right now, this card I just played basically has everyone go and attack. So what I did there is I used it because I had a better position and I was able to kill 2 of his guys. Sure, some of my guys took damage also, but I was able to do some damage there. And now I have 4 guys to his 1, and, well, pretty big advantage here. Now here is actually where I'm going to point out the fact that if you cannot have a guy attack multiple times. This is the mission right here. I actually tried swapping 2 units around. The guy on the right and the guy on the left, my infantry. Now, if I had my infantry on my left swap with the infantry on the right can still act. The right could then attack. That's just a little bit of strategy I noticed and screwed up. Another thing is, once you've started playing actions on a card that has multiple actions, you cannot undo it. So now that I've played Operation, I can't say, oh, undo. At least I didn't see an option for it. If you like the game, check it out. It's available for free. It's currently in the open beta. If you like the content, stay tuned to more for MMO Play. Thanks for watching. I'll get him next turn.